Hi, I'm Jerome Vismanos, and thank you for joining me today. I'm using an iPhone 12 Max Pro, but there are a number of phones that you can use, especially now that they have the ultra wide lens. I'll be using the Asteroom tripod to help assist me with getting the proper level on these shots, along with the panel kit. It serves me in a number of ways, right? It helps me take 360 photos, which we have in another video if you want to take a look at that. But what I'll be doing and using this for is to take amazing 2D photos for real estate. And what I do is simply place this on top of the tripod, and I'll be placing the phone on top of here, but it'll set the level just right at just the right height to help assist me in taking photographs of this room back here. This is the normal length lens, you might call it, right? And then this top one is if you're shooting macro or super close. And then this one out here is if you want to go wide, which is what we typically use when we're shooting real estate. So after I've assembled the tripod and the panel kit on top, what we're gonna do is use our phone to take these photographs. So the great thing about this panel kit is that we can use it to help place our camera and get it at the perfect height. So now that we have our phone mounted on the tripod and the panel kit, we're ready to take our photos. So I wanna give you 3 valuable tips to remember to take great real estate photos just using your phone. So tip number 1 is that you wanna go to a corner. Now that I'm here at a corner, I want to pay attention to the composition and capture 3 walls. And the reason why that's important is that it's going to give a viewer a sense of the dimension and size of the room, right? You're going to capture the floors, the ceilings, and 3 walls. And I'm giving main focus to the most captivating walls. Here you see on the wall to the left, you have windows, so that you definitely want to show off. The furthest wall, you also have windows, or the least intriguing wall would be the one to the right where I have the flat screen TV. So again, just like when you're taking portraits, every room has a great angle, and this is it. And again, let me illustrate if we were to only capture 2 walls. So if I were zoomed here, even though it's a great composition, the viewer doesn't have an idea of the size and dimension of the room, which is really important when they're looking at your photos on the MLS or any of these real estate websites. But I'm gonna pull back, and now that we have 3 walls, what I'm gonna do is really focus on the exposure. So if you tap, and I generally tap on an item that's in the center of the room, because then everything else, all the items will be focused as well. And then focus on the exposure. So by dragging my finger up, it's gonna lighten the exposure. And by dragging it down, it's gonna darken the exposure. I want somewhere in the middle. With this phone that I have, it automatically takes HDR photos. So it's gonna take one exposure at a darker level, one at a lighter, and what I want to do is choose one in the middle where when I'm looking through the windows, it's not blown out, right? We want to showcase that view that they have, and I'll take a photo. Great, I'm going to do the same thing, but from the opposite side of the room. So what I'm going to do now is do the exact same thing from the opposite side of the room. Great, now that I'm on the opposite side of the room, I'm gonna focus on these 3 walls. So I have to go wide. I have the wall to my right, I have the wall to the left with the flat screen TV, and furthest, which spills into the kitchen. I'm gonna focus on the center and then take a photo. So what happens when you forget the tripod, you can free hold your phone. Make sure that the phone is perpendicular to the phone. You don't want it angled like this. You don't want it angled too far back. What you want to do is have it level and perpendicular to the floor. Tip 1, always clean your lens. What you want to do is show the property best in light. So if you have clutter, take the time to declutter it. Look here, I have some pasta and some books. Just simply take the time to make sure that everything is nice and tidy. Great, and realtors, always remember, toilet seats down. So when you have lights, always turn on lights.